Welcome to Hustling for Your Worth, Work Edition. My name is Lindsay, and I'm not a counselor or a therapist or life coach. I am just someone who unfortunately has a lot of life experience when it comes to building up your self-worth. Hustling for your worth at work means you rely on the opinions of your colleagues or your boss or your client in order to feel good. Now look, everybody wants to feel good. Everyone wants to know that they do a good job, but the person who has a low sense of self-worth will actually betray themselves in situations. They will do things, they will say things that they know are out of alignment with their own core values. These actions could start to impact your physical health, your mental health, and by the way, it's so confusing too because this is the entity that pays you to live. So I'm a former entrepreneur and I built leadership experiences for low-income minority students where they would work together to solve a community-based problem. And they were incredible and it was a lot of fun, but I was a one-woman show at the time. So I went to a practice pitch competition and where the purpose was to practice your pitch and then to receive feedback from an audience of professional speakers. So I give my pitch and one of the first comments is from a man in the audience and he stands up and he says to me, first of all, there's a big problem that you're trying to be a for-profit entity. And I was honestly like at a loss for words. I was totally shocked because one, this wasn't the purpose of a practice pitch. And two, it's widely known in education. There are both for-profit and non-profit entities. So here's the difference between someone who has a strong sense of self-worth and someone who does not. The person with a strong sense of self-worth will hear that feedback, take it in, and decide whether or not to take it or leave that. You're not obligated to implement the feedback. Someone who does not will hear that, take that in, and that will actually become absorbed and part of that person. What I eventually would say to myself is, oh my God, he's right. Like, Lindsay, like it's totally ridiculous that you're trying to be a for-profit. How dare you try and profit in this industry? That is so greedy. But this narrative followed me every single time that I would pitch to a potential client or I'd sit down and write that contract and I would say to myself, oh my God, I'm greedy, I'm greedy, I'm greedy, I'm greedy. I honestly think that that narrative would impact either consciously or subconsciously the asks that I would make of clients in terms of how much to charge for the experience. I am a hardcore recovering hustler for my worth at work person. And one of the first things that I know I need to do is to get very clear on what I value when it comes to any sort of workplace. Because the next time that I receive difficult feedback, or I'm working with a difficult client, or I'm putting in a lot of hours at work, I can be sturdy in knowing what is important to me when it comes to work, and I can rely on that to help me make the next best decision that's the right decision for my own best interest. And believe me, oh my God, I hear myself saying this, that it's insanely difficult to do. This is my guess.